Hello, and thank you for being willing to help with our Vacation Bible School 2019. The theme is In the Wild from Lifeway Publishing. The catchphrase for this VBS is Zoom in, focus on Jesus, and it is based on John 20:31. But these things are written that you may believe that Jesus is the Christ, the Son of God, and that believing you may have life in His name. And our goal is to introduce kids to Jesus through His encounters with others. Our VBS focuses on 5 stories through the life of Jesus: teaching in the temple as a boy, baptism, calming the storm, Mary Magdalene at the tomb, and the road to Emmaus. Our goals for this Vacation Bible School is to introduce children from our community to Jesus, to build relationships with them, and to grow our church family by giving the kids and their parents a spiritual community. Our dates will be June 19, June 26, July 3, July 10, and July 17. These are 5 Wednesdays over the summer. This schedule means less staff exhaustion, establishes a pattern of attendance for kids who don't already go to church, and gets kids who do go to church excited for midweek services, which gets them excited for prayer meeting as they get older. A lot of what I'll be talking about in the safety portion is common sense, but we're going to review it anyway. This is very important. Never, ever, under any circumstances, be alone with one child. There must always be 2 adults and at least 1 child who is verbal. Verbal means being able to talk and be understood. Bathroom breaks will be scheduled between rotations. The procedure is that a same-gendered staff member, meaning female staff takes the girls and a male staff member takes the boys, will take a minimum of 2 children to the bathroom and will stand outside the door waiting for them. Phones should only be used for communicating with other staff members during Vacation Bible School hours. The children in your care need and deserve your full attention. Although parents will be signing a photo release form, this is only for Vacation Bible School and church use. This does not give permission to post children's photos to personal social media. Staff children are welcomed at Vacation Bible School. We ask that staff children are treated the same as community children. This means that unless they are helping with a younger grade, they need to be with their appropriate age group. They also need permission from their class leader to leave the group, as this is a safety issue. If a staff child leaves the room to go see their parent without permission from their leader, other children might think that they can leave without permission, and that is a serious safety hazard. Staff children who are helping their parent do not count as a second adult in that class. The first aid kit will be at the registration table. If an injury requires more than 1 Band-Aid and an ice pack, or will leave an obvious bruise, the director needs to be made aware so an injury or ouch report can be sent home with the child. Verified Volunteers is a background check required by the NAD for anyone working with children. Even if you have already completed it, please check to make sure that it hasn't expired, as it only lasts 3 years. There will be a step-by-step printout in the church office, or you can watch a step-by-step online. The link here, which is also in the description box below, is for the New Hampshire Special Olympics, so although it looks different than the NAD Verified Volunteers page, the process is the same. Verified Volunteers must be completed by June 9 if you want to help during VBS. You cannot volunteer if it is not completed. Your teaching materials will be given to you after we have received notification that you have completed the background check. There are many staff positions to be filled at Vacation Bible School. If you are interested in volunteering but aren't sure where, we can provide you with a sample of the materials to look over so you can determine where you can best use your talents for God. We are not planning on having a class for infants and toddlers, but if there is a demand, we will consider it. The responsibilities are setting up the room, teaching the lesson, and overseeing dismissal. The 3s through 4th grade leaders have pretty much the same responsibilities. The biggest change is the ratio of children to adults and the maximum size of the group. Each teacher will need to accompany their children to rotations and teach the Bible rotation for their group. For the 3s through kindergarten, depending on the numbers, we might have the classes combined. If they are combined, one teacher will do the 3s through pre-K Bible lesson and one teacher will do the kindergarten Bible lesson, and the groups will be combined for the rest of the evening. The ratio is 6 kids to 1 adult with a maximum class size of 15 children. Grades 1 and 2 will be combined, as will grades 3 and 4. The ratio is 8 children to 1 adult with a maximum class size of 20 each. For grades 5 and 6, the ratio is 10 kids for every 1 adult with a maximum class size of 25 children. Grades 7 and 8 will be using a different rotation plan than the other grades. Their leader will be responsible for the Bible lesson, the craft, the missions lesson, and any music that may be needed. It is, however, not required that you be musical. The leader will not be in charge of the snacks or recreation rotations. The ratio is 12 kids to 1 adult with a maximum class size of 25. Grades 9 through 12 will be on another rotation schedule. Their leader will be in charge of everything. It is encouraged that the leader delegates, so no one person is overwhelmed with all the responsibilities. The ratio is 15 kids to 1 adult with a maximum class size of 30. There will also be a class for college-age participants and any parents who want to stay for a Bible study. The leader will be in charge of teaching all portions of the lesson, including the icebreaker and discussion during the introduction. There is no ratio or maximum class size for this group. There is a lot of information for snack leaders. Most of this is common sense, but we're going to go over it anyway. Hands must be washed with soap and warm water when transitioning between tasks. If you use the restroom, you must wash your hands in the bathroom and again when returning to the kitchen. You also must wash your hands before putting on gloves. All flat surfaces, such as counters and sinks, need to be cleaned with a mixture of 1/4 cup unscented bleach and 1 gallon of water at the beginning and end of the day. All preparation and serving dishes must be washed with hot water and soap, rinsed with hot running water, and sanitized by soaking for at least 1 minute in a solution of 1 teaspoon of bleach in 1 gallon of water, then allowed to air dry. The water needs to be cool, since hot water denatures the cleaning properties of bleach. Allergies are common, and we need to do everything we can to avoid giving allergens to a child who is allergic. What is an allergy? A food allergy is a specific type of adverse food reaction involving the immune system. The body produces what is called an allergic or immunoglobulin E antibody to food. Once a specific food is ingested and binds with the IgE antibody, an allergic reaction ensues. Some common allergens are listed here: milk, eggs, fish, shellfish, tree nuts, peanuts, wheat, and soybeans. These are not all allergens, however. It is very important to take allergies seriously, no matter how common or uncommon they are. Some common allergic reactions are hives, flushed skin or a rash, tingling or itchy mouth, face, tongue, or lip swelling, vomiting and or diarrhea, abdominal cramps, coughing or wheezing, dizziness and or lightheadedness, swelling of the throat and vocal cords, difficulty breathing, and a drop in blood pressure. These range from annoying to fatal, and we can't be the judge of the severity of someone's allergy. We need to trust them when they say that they are allergic to something, and act accordingly. We can avoid allergens by reading the food ingredient labels. If a child is allergic to any ingredient on a food label, work with the director to find a replacement. We can also avoid cross-contamination by preparing food for children with allergies in a separate area and washing hands and changing gloves before handling food for children with allergies. In an effort to serve the highest quality food to the children in our care, food must be labeled after opening and or preparing. Labels will be provided. Labels must contain the following information: the name of the dish and a summary of ingredients, being sure to list any common allergens, the date it was opened or prepared, and the initials of the person who wrote the label. Refrigerated food that is prepared in our church kitchen or a home kitchen needs to be thrown away if not used within 7 days of preparation. Refrigerated food that is not prepared in the church or home must be thrown away by the date listed on the food. Usually it will say use within X days after opening. Non-refrigerated food should be thrown away 21 days after opening unless it goes stale beforehand. If there is any mold growing anywhere in the container, everything in the container needs to be thrown away immediately. If the container is church or personal property, it needs to be washed and sanitized immediately. If it is not church or personal property, the container should be thrown away as well. The snack menu will be finalized by the VBS director 10 days before the first VBS meeting. The menu will be based on the budget and the expected number of children. Input is welcomed until the menu is finalized. Once the menu is finalized, non-perishable supplies will be bought and the menu cannot be adjusted. The recreation leader needs to know the activity for that day, be an example of good sportsmanship, encourage all kids to be involved without forcing them to be involved, adapt the activity to the ages and abilities of the individual groups, clean the recreation area after each rotation in preparation for the next, and put away all equipment after all the rotations are done for the evening. The craft leader needs to prepare spaces for each child, give clear directions for the craft, assist any child that needs help, and clean the craft area after each rotation in preparation for the next group, and clean and put away the craft area after all the rotations are done for the evening. The missions leader needs to tell the mission story for the day, guide in related activities, adapt as needed for the ages and abilities for each group, clean after each rotation in preparation for the next group, and clean and put away the missions area after all rotations are done. The worship leaders need to follow the daily plan for opening and closing worship rallies, be willing to participate in skits, assist where needed during rotations. Music leaders must lead the music during worship rallies, and assist where needed during rotations. Registration leaders double as security and first aid. They need to make sure each child and parent are registered and enforce safe drop-off and pickup procedures. Thank you again so much for being willing to help with our Vacation Bible School. And if you have any questions, please feel free to ask myself or Pastor Ryan.